My name's Bethany, and I'm a librarian with the Plano Public Library. Tonight, we'll be hearing from two local history institutions about the resources, programs, and classes that they offer about Plano's history. I'll also cover the high points of what you can find at the library's Genealogy Center. Please welcome Cheryl Smith from the Interurban Museum and Dolly Thomas from the Plano African American Museum. Some of you might recognize Cheryl as the face of genealogy here at the library. She was instrumental in shaping the Genealogy Center's mission and collection, and we're really glad to have her back for this program. And of course, we're really glad to greet Dolly Thomas as well. So thanks to both of you for being with us here today.
Thank you.
We're going to get
Thank you.
started. We're going to get started with Cheryl. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm the archives manager for the Interurban Museum and also the Research Center. Um, we offer quite a few things. Um, there we go. At the Interurban Railway Museum, there are a lot of things that go on when we are open Tuesday through Saturday. On Fridays, we have story time. We have a wonderful car 360 to go and visit. Even if you have disabilities, you can use the virtual reality to see what the car looks like if you can't climb up the stairs to get into it. Um, and I would still use the VR just to see what it's like. That was the most fun. We have permanent exhibits, traveling exhibits. We offer just a lot of different information, mostly about the railway and for sure about the interurban, the electric train that came through from Dallas to Denison, over even into Denton, and from 1908 to 1948. That is our major emphasis. But we do have a lot of information about railway and people who worked on the railroad and other information. We offer school tours and we have motormen that will come to you for an event. We also have written 5 books on Plano history, one on the historic cemeteries, about football and integration, haunted Plano, and the newest book is Plano Past and Present, where we have a past picture and compare it to the present time and tell you what's going on now. We have a research center. It is called the Johnny J. Myers Transportation Research Center or Research Center. Johnny Myers is the person back in the 1980s, early 1990s, who helped get the train and the museum back in or reconstructed and built for the future. And then he donated all of his documents, photographs, library books and things, and a lot of other memorabilia. He's our major contributor, but we have a lot of others that have contributed their information about the railroad. It's always fun because I can go back and forth between railway and railroad. They really mean about the same. And it is so hard. I bounce back and forth. So excuse me for that. But we do, like I said, our major emphasis is on the electric train, the interurban or Texas Electric Railway. And it ran from 1908 to 1948. So most of our history covers that time period. But we do love earlier information and later information, especially about Plano and Collin County. Um, and there are buildings that are still around today, depots, and also we like current pictures and we like current information about those depots. So we add them to our collection. We have three categories: the archives, photographs, library, and the objects. I have the most fun with the objects. We have a hat that's nearly 100 years old that we just received a couple of months ago, and it is one that a conductor wore. We have postcards from the railway and posters and ads of what was used on the trains. If you don't remember, if you've ever been inside a train, you might see that there's ads. We have a lot of those ads. It's kind of fun. And the photographs of all kinds of cars, trolleys, and such. And I have been what we call cataloging a lot of those cars, and I still can't tell you one car from another or one, one of my just they're just so different, but at the same time, they all look the same to me. I just wanted to let you know, though, that we have um, over 70, well, nearly 7,500 items, archives, photographs, library objects that are available. The only way to reach us, though, is, or to research that, is to email us or call us. Um, and then we can do the research, or you can set a date and time and you can come in and look at our information. You can also look at a lot of our items online. I say we have 7,500 items, but not everything is available online. Um, Most research centers have about half online and half hidden away for copyright or protection. And so you may not get to see everything online, but you can contact us and we can show you what we have. We do have, out of that 7,500, we have about 4,800 that are photographs. But there are a lot of duplicates, and some are blurred because, we just put everything in the collection, but not always a great set. I have, this is our partners because it's kind of interesting in that there is the Interurban Railway Museum, and then there is the Research Center. And we are operated both by, or supported both by the City of Plano and the Plano Conservancy. So we're part city and part non-profit. And we get a lot of grants from the Plano Heritage Commission, and the Historic Downtown Plano supports us. And so you never know which part you're getting into whenever you come to visit us. But the Plano Conservancy works a lot in helping preserve the cemeteries and other older buildings in town as needed. I guess I didn't put the last screen on there. Sorry. I thought I did. But I sent Trey, and I thought it was going to be on here, but we have an email address and a phone number in our websites. And so Trey will put those into the chats for y'all. And Trey, I don't know, the email address I gave y'all stopped today. So we have a new one. It's chsmith@plano.gov. So it just started today, but our archives email will continue for another month or so while we um, try to change from one email to the other.
I got the new one in here. I got you covered.
Good deal. I love to share with everybody, so you can come visit us at any time. And we love donations, mostly if they do cover 1908 to 1948 time period. And that's what I wanted to tell y'all about. Is it Dolly's turn now?
It's Dolly's turn. Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Sure.
Okay, thank Okay, thank you all so much for having me. Um, I am Dolly Thomas, and I'm the executive director for the Plano African American Museum. And just to let you know, we want to be just like the Interurban Museum when we grow up. We are only about 2 years old. We opened up last year on Juneteenth. The picture that you're seeing now is the Thornton House. And now the Thornton House is our where the museum is located. It's a house that was built in 1901. It's our largest and most expensive artifact. We are located in the Douglas community. The Douglas community, it used to be a predominantly African American community in Plano. It was the only community where African Americans could call home. We just celebrated our 150th year it was this year. We celebrated 150 years. Let me see. Our mission is to tell the story not only of the African Americans of Plano, but of all these United States, telling the fortitude it took to endure the hardships of slavery, the commitment of the dream of freedom, and the many citizens that helped along the way. In the museum, the house has 4 rooms. Originally, the last room, the 5th room, the kitchen was built on after 1920. In each of the room, we have one room that we have our traveling exhibits, and then one room we have the Douglas room. In the Douglas room, what we do is we show pictures of the Douglas community as it changed throughout the years. Our main focus is to show the history of some of those legacy families, like the Stimsons and the Drakes. Mo Stimson was, we think, maybe the first African American to be in Plano. He was purchased for Annie Wilson as a Christmas present, so he was enslaved. But Andy Drake was not the second African American, but he was the first free African American to settle in Plano. He worked for Silas Harrington for a while. Our community is a community of we had businesses during segregation. We couldn't trade uptown, so we had to take care of ourselves within the Douglas community. And on these, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streets. That was our whole community. But as you can see, we had a hotel. We had there was a gambling shack and a cafe, several cafes, a funeral home. Shiloh Baptist Church is celebrating their 140th year this year. In the Douglas community, we are proud to have at least 2 of the historical markers, that being Shiloh Baptist Church and the Pioneer Cemetery, where some of the founding families of Plano are buried. Again, that we have the Douglas Colored School, the school that all the African Americans went to during the segregation times. And also we have the Davis Cemetery. It may not be a historical marker, but it is pretty historic as far as we're concerned, because that cemetery was the only place within this Collin County that African Americans could be buried. We also have the wall art project here is the mural Tracks of Our Past and Future that we're very proud of. At one time when it was first built, it was the largest mosaic installation in North Texas, and it also won a couple of awards. Our museum, we also are pretty excited about being able to trace the genealogy of some of our citizens here in the Douglas community. Now, to tell our history and our ancestry is a pretty daunting task because of the misfortune and then the fortune of us being enslaved and then freed, because most of this is a slave record, which is some of the artifacts that we do have here in the museum of a slave record from Collin County. Plano had about 200, a little over 200 slaves, and they're listed here only by their name, age, and whether they were Black or mulatto, and female or male. What we have to do in order to find out who each one of these people are is it's a daunting task. We are right now working with the Jesus Christ, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to help us maybe identify some of those slaves and their families, to see if their families are still in Plano or Collin County. As you can see, we were able to name one slave on the slave record, Sarah Holmes, and she was a slave owned by one of the Haggard families. What we have to do in order to find those records is we've got to get with each one of those families to check their records to see who might be where, if they had names of those people, and they probably put their names in diaries or deeds of sale or things like that. So it's a pretty daunting task, but we are up for the challenge. And I know that the genealogy department at the Plano Public Library will help us out a lot in finding those. But since we're babies right now, we're taking these small steps, and we are we uh, we survive only by donations right now. So hopefully within the next year or so, we'll have our genealogy department running. We offer our business hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 1 to 6. Special tours are available upon request. Tuesdays we do read Tuesdays with a book, where we read to the children. These last couple of weeks we've had some of the council members to come and read to the children at the Plano daycare. And we also make our museum available for organizational meetings, host of an event. We had a lady that came in and just was so anxious about getting married here. She said as soon as she walked in the door, that just spoke to her. So she had a very small ceremony here. Our exhibit in our traveling exhibit is the 1619 arrival, and it's on loan to us from the Hampton Museum of History. Now, we've had at traveling exhibits from the National African American History, the Smithsonian. We were able to secure Martin Luther King's last protest. It was called Hope, the City of Hope. Now, this exhibition that we have here, the 1619 arrival, we know that African Americans have been in North America and South America since the 1500s. However, this is the first Africans' arrival in America for slavery, for the purpose of slavery. So these were the first 20 and odd Africans that were brought from the White Line to Point Comfort in Virginia. So it's a very interesting story, and we would love for everyone to come and see it and just to understand that history. We also have, like, our largest fundraiser is called When Food Speaks. And in this series, what we do is we talk about the foods that came over on the slave ships with the African souls, and how those foods affected North American cuisine and all over the world. Last year, we talked about okra and black eyed peas and those rice and coffee that came over with them. But this year, we're going to talk about gumbo and the diversity of gumbo and how gumbo originated in Africa, but they brought it over here. So uh, just go on our website and you'll see how to get tickets for us. What we'd like for you to do is always remember that Black history is American history. And we celebrate the accomplishments of all Americans that make our country the best. We've grown together. We want to grow together, and we want everyone to appreciate everyone. We have tours of students and churches, and last a couple of weeks ago we had a tour in about 40 senior citizens from Dallas, and that was very interesting. We talked about a lot of things about the Douglas community, and most of the people, when they come to Plano and they come into the museum, the first thing they say is, we didn't know Plano had an African American community. So we're educating quite a few people on Plano and African American life in Plano. Thank you, and please, we survive on donations. We haven't been able to get any grants because most grant cycles, they require you to be in business for at least a year. So now we can start applying for grant, but thank God we've kept it open for a whole year and going on our second year. So please come to the museum and visit us.
All right. Thank you. I am going to remember to unmute myself, and I'm going to share with you now some specific resources at the Genealogy Center here at the Plano Library that help tell the story of Plano. And I'll also cover some of the general classes, resources, and equipment that you'll find at the Genealogy Center. And remember, at the end of my portion, we will have time for questions. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A, or you can just wait till the end and ask them. All right, so resources about Plano history. The Genealogy Center has plenty of primary and secondary sources on Plano's history. Materials that you can find that tell Plano's story are in our city maps through the years, books about the city's people, places, and stories. And I will tell you that Cheryl Smith has helped write a bunch of the ones that I'm showing you right now. This is a very popular title. It's Plano, the Early Years. It has tons of information about Plano's founding families and other aspects of Plano history, and it's available for purchase at the Genealogy Center. Proceeds go to the Friends of the Plano Public Library. We have family histories and collections from Plano citizens. Some of them have been digitized and can be viewed on the Genealogy Center's Collin County Images website. And that's what this image is showing as the landing page for Collin County Images. Oops. We also have the collection of the Plano Star Courier on microfilm. And portions of this collection are currently unavailable to view because Plano Public Library received a Text Treasures grant we're really proud of from the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. And this will support the digitization of almost 40,000 pages of the Plano Star Courier microfilm collection. And this project will start with editions in 1904 through 1971. Staff at the University of North Texas are digitizing the microfilm, and they'll add it to UNT's Texas Digital Newspaper Program, which will be accessible to everyone through the portal to Texas history. So this is really fantastic. We're really excited about it. It will make it a lot easier for people to do research and browse this really important collection outside of the Genealogy Center. And earlier, Cheryl had mentioned advertisements that were placed in the interurban train cars. And the Plano Star Courier has some really fascinating advertisements. If you go in to look for one certain date, you're looking up, trying to see if you can find an article, guaranteed you will get sidetracked by all of the advertisements because they're fascinating. Okay, so let me show you what else we've got. We also have thematic displays that we show on the second floor of Haggard Library. The one that's showing right now was specific to Plano Senior High School. We do have some artifacts in our archive. So these are items that are from the archive, a beanie, a ball cap, a letter jacket, and some other interesting items. And every couple, periodically, we change out the display just to let people know of all the really cool things that we have in the archive. And currently on view, we have the Game of Plano. So that'll be up for a little while longer. You can come and take a look at this very unique game that features Plano, and also some images from the archive showing Plano residents playing games. So pretty cool. And lastly, we do have in the archive the collection of Plano yearbooks. These are from local elementary, middle, and high school. So if you are a Plano resident and you failed to get your yearbook, come to the library, and chances are we probably have it. And just to mention, you can search the catalog online and see if we have your yearbook. So let me get to the next slide. Just a little bit about the Genealogy Center. It's located at Haggard Library, which is 2501 Coit Road. It's in the basement level. It's a really nice space, even just to come and do work. It's a really nice study space. But we also house an extensive document and image collection, and we have access to premium online resources that I'll cover in a little bit. We also have helpful staff who have experience using the collection, and they're available to assist you with your genealogical research. And we offer year-round classes that go from beginners all the way to experienced researchers. So if you're interested in taking a class, please check the Plano Library's online calendar at planolibrary.org. You can search by genealogy, and that will narrow everything out. And you can, search from, just one day or a period of time. In this illustration, I chose the entire fall season. So you can see what's coming up throughout fall and mark it up on your calendar. Most classes that we do are presented virtually on Zoom, just like this one, and they are recorded, and you can view them later on the library's YouTube channel. In fact, we have an entire genealogy video playlist that you can view, and we'll put links to that in the chat in a bit. So this is the Genealogy Center Presents. It's our YouTube playlist. We just did Scouting Military Records. I can see that's on there. Introduction to Genealogy is on there. That's our basic get to know genealogy. So even before you walked into the Genealogy Center, you could be visiting us online and watching some of our webinars to get started with your genealogical research. And this is just an example of one of the research days where people were coming in to help others do their genealogy research. And we do have some handouts available on our Genealogy Center website. we have a brochure called Getting Started in Genealogy. It has some really great tips for how to get started. We have the ancestral chart that you can download and start filling out, keeping track of all of your family research. And we have a bunch of other class handouts on the website that are from some of our more specific classes, like the Scouting for Military Records, our Hidden Treasures webinar, our city directories resource list, how to conduct family oral histories resources. So check out our website and you can download some of those handouts and get started. So some of our online resources, you can use these resources from any Plano library, and some of them you can access from home with your Plano library card. So of course we have Ancestry Library Edition. That is one that you do have to be in the library to use, but it is a really great resource if you are researching your family. Many records, census records, all kinds of birth, death, and marriage records, immigration, passenger lists, naturalization records. It's a great resource. We also have Family Search. The Plano Public Library is a Family Search affiliate library. What that means is that you can see some records when you're in the library that you cannot see if you're using Family Search from home. They kind of have some different levels of access. So we're really proud to be one of their affiliate libraries, and you should definitely come and check it out. Some of these databases you can access from home. So Fold 3 is one of them. Fold 3 is a collection for U.S. military records, but it also includes stories and photos and personal documents from men and women who served from the Revolutionary War onward. Lastly, we do have some databases available through the Texas State Library and Archives, and those are databases you can use when you're in the library, or you can access them from home if you are a Plano resident. So if you live in Plano and you have a library card, you can call one of the libraries and get the login and password, and then you can have access from home to a Heritage Quest Online. This is a database that provides access to genealogical and historical resources for the U.S. and for other countries. So it has census records, books, interactive maps, and research guides. It also has city directories that I find those really fascinating. You can find a lot of personal information about people in the city directories, their names, where they live, sometimes even what they did for a living. So definitely a really good resource. Another item that I don't have an image up here for, but that you can find through this database are Sanborn maps. And the Sanborn maps were from the Sanborn Map Company, and they were the primary American publishers of fire insurance maps for nearly a century. And these maps, if you've never seen one, they provide a lot of information, building outline, the size and shape of buildings. It's really interesting. So definitely check those out. And one of the newer databases through this TechShare is ProQuest African American Heritage Database. And this is a digital resource for researching African American family history. So hopefully you've heard from Dolly Thomas about everything that they have on offer at the Plano African American Museum, and you can use this resource as well if you're doing research on African American genealogy. It includes a variety of records and resources, census records, vital records, church records, and records of freedmen and slaves. So definitely worth checking out. All right, just a little bit about the equipment that we have at the Genealogy Center. We have an oversized book scanner. So this is great if you are digitizing books or maps or large photos or potentially certificates. We've had people bring in their great-grandmother's diploma from college. So that's really amazing. You can digitize your family history, save it to a flash drive, upload it to the cloud, or even print it out for a fee. We also have a microform reader. This microform reader reads microfilm and microfiche. So if you are a veteran, and you've got your records, your military records on microfiche, you can come in and view, save, and print them from this machine. And of course, this is what you can use to look at all the Plano Star couriers. That's what's pictured right now on this slide. And eventually you'll be able to access them from the Texas portal to Texas History, but you can always come in when they're back in the library and view them on this microfilm reader. So pretty handy device to have. We recently, in the last year, have created this digital conversion station. So this is really great. If you have home movies on VHS tape, you can bring them in here. We have a VHS player and special software that you can use to digitize your home videos. So it's really fantastic. And again, it creates a digital file that you can save to a flash drive or upload to the cloud and share it out with family. All of the items that are in the Genealogy Center, the book collections and the maps, they are actually in the online catalog, Plano's catalog. So that's actually a really great tool for you. Before you even come into the Genealogy Center, you can already assemble a list of items that you want to look up. So you can use the catalog when you come into the library, into the Genealogy Center, or you can use the catalog in your browser from home. Or I would recommend downloading the app, which is what's shown here. You can sign in with your library card, search the catalog, place holds. It's a lot of cool things that you can do with the app. And then lastly, we have the Topaz desktop reader, which is handy if you are looking at, say, a book that is taken from some very old diary or case study where someone has handwritten something and it's very teeny writing. This is an amazing machine. It will enlarge what you're looking at and enable you to read it a lot more clearly. So some special devices that you can find at the Genealogy Center. We also have research assistants. So from our website, you can ask a genealogy librarian a question. You can book a genealogy librarian for a 30-minute appointment where you come in and get to talk to them about whatever brick wall you've encountered in your genealogical research. And I'd also like to mention some of our partner organizations, the Genealogy Friends of Plano Libraries and the Collin County Genealogical Society. These are both groups that are dedicated to genealogy, and they offer their support to the Genealogy Center. So the library partners with them on programs and classes, and you can join each organization and learn more about research strategies, resources, and classes for genealogy. Plus, you get to meet a lot of like-minded souls who are doing their own research and might offer some tips and just support. So consider attending the Genealogy Friends upcoming program, Research at the Library. That's going to be on November 9th at Haggard Library at 10:30 in the morning. Just wanted to share with you some other upcoming genealogy programs. Did you know that October is Family History Month? We are going to be celebrating by having a great assortment of genealogy classes coming up for you, and we hope that you partake. So on Tuesday, October 15th, we have the Genealogy Center for you. Please join us. It's a tour of the Genealogy Center online. You can watch from home, and you can learn how to use the variety of resources and technology available to grow your family history. And of course, on Friday, October 18th, that's our biggest genealogy event of the year. It's the Genealogy Lock-In. It's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can come to Haggard or you can participate from home through Zoom. We'll be joining other libraries across Texas and Oklahoma and watching webinars on genealogy research all day long. So it's a lot. You'll meet a lot of cool people. Both of our partners will have tables out, so they'll be on hand to help you if you have genealogy questions, and our staff will be on hand as well. And then Tuesday, October 22nd, we'll be covering land records. So you'll learn terminology that's used in land records and how you can use land records in your own genealogy research. All right. Oh, and I almost forgot the DNA forum. That's coming up really quickly, Tuesday, October 8th. And that is actually, we host the Genealogy Friends of Plano Library, and they come in and talk about how to use DNA in your genealogy research. So please join us. And just a couple ways you can connect with the Plano Public Library. Sign up for our Check It Out newsletter. It's an e-newsletter. It comes straight to your email with everything that's going on in the week at the library. I encourage you to sign up for the SAGE newsletter. That's a monthly e-newsletter aimed at older adults, and it covers services and programs provided by the City of Plano, including the library. So that's a pretty awesome resource as well. And then you can always follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and if we have any questions, we'd love to answer them. Well, I know I have a question for both Cheryl and Dolly. I really loved hearing about both of your unique institutions and all that you have to offer. And I'm just curious, how can people help out? Can they volunteer at your museums?
Well, we don't, well, at the museum, we need volunteers. We also need board members. Um, for the research center, we don't always have room for volunteers. We have a small room and two computers, so we don't always have the capabilities for volunteers there, but we always need guides for the museum. And also, we are in need of a couple of new board members for the Plano Conservancy. We have two people that are retiring. So,
All right. Well, hopefully we get some people answering the call. And
yes.
Dolly, how about with the Plano African American Museum?
Well, at the museum, we're kind of small, but you know, it we love having visitors, and we do have a couple of people who they come here just about every month, and uh we pulled them in to help us one time because they know the drill. So yes, I think we'll start using volunteers a little more in the coming years. Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. And one other thing, I know that when we met earlier to talk about this program, both of you mentioned the Heritage Farmstead Museum. So I didn't know if you had anything to add about that place.
Well, I get to curate their collection, mostly their photos and letters and things. Um, there are bits and pieces of information about the farm and farm life in, and then raising sheep, and then just knowing people of Plano. If you had questions about her time period or that time period, it's about the 1920s to the 1970s, and you're just wondering if we might have something, you would just need to contact the museum. And I was looking to see, we don't really have a email to send out, but we have a form letter or a form that you can request help by Googling Heritage Farmstead,
Yes.
and
And
looking
we
at
do
their website.
I know a lot of people from the Douglas community worked at the farmstead, so we have quite a bit of history together, the Douglas community and the farmstead. Um, Initially, when we decided to do the museum, we wanted to um, kind of fashion it the way it is at the farmstead. Um, but so far we've got one room that may have looked like a room in the 1920s in an African American house. But if anybody has a wood burning stove, we really need that in order to complete um, the kitchen area here. So, but yeah, the farmstead and the Douglas community are pretty connected. Yes.
It's
Yes.
wonderful to hear.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for sharing all that. And I am going to put a link to the Heritage Farmstead in the chat. Oops, I sent it only to panelists. One sec. Let me make sure it goes to everyone. And if we have no other questions, we will thank again our wonderful presenters. We really enjoyed hearing about you and about the places that you're representing. Thank you so much for joining us. And thanks to everyone who is out there watching, and we'll see you back.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Uh-huh.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.